One of the world's modern wonders is the cosmos in its entirety, from the depths of the oceans to the high skies and beyond. Scientists all across the world are still trying to figure out how it was created and what it contains. These anomalies, particularly in relation to the solar system and space, have piqued the interest of scientists, and their curiosity has driven many to devote their lives to pursuing and unravelling these secrets about our universe. Brilliant and award-winning technologies were created and employed to study our huge cosmos in order to make these explorations across the solar system more enlightening and accessible for everyone. Among these accomplishments is the Voyager, a renowned spacecraft that has been orbiting in space in its complete grandeur for the past 45 years. This wonderful technology has greatly aided scientists in their investigation of planet Earth and other planets circling around the Sun. But it recently delivered a confusing message back to scientists when it reached deep space. What exactly is this amazing technology? What did it uncover in space? And how does the message's content influence NASA's history and mankind in general? Join us as we investigate the Voyager's wonders and extensive explorations, as well as the contents of the message it conveyed to scientists on Earth. The Voyager mission, launched in 1977, was directed by American scientists at NASA to utilize two robotic interstellar probes, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. These probes were launched in response to a favorable alignment between Jupiter and Saturn, and they were designed to travel close to the planets in order to collect data for transmission back to Earth. Following the launch, another decision was taken to deploy Voyager 2 towards Neptune and Uranus to investigate in order to communicate data back to the National Aeronautics and Space Administration scientists and engineers. 3 radioisotope thermoelectric generators, or RTGs, power the 2 interstellar robotic probes. RTGs are machines that process the heat emitted by radioactive plutonium decay and convert it into electricity. Both spacecraft were outfitted with 10 scientific equipment, including a 2-camera imaging system, a magnetometer, numerous spectrometers, and a device that detects low-energy charged objects and particles in conjunction with high-energy cosmic rays. The Voyager Program mission team has made use of the spacecraft's communication systems to examine moons and planets, bringing the total number of scientific research conducted on each probe to 11 times. The Voyager program initially cost a staggering $865 million, and when the Voyager interstellar mission was added later, it cost an extra $30 million, bringing the total cost to $895 million. Both spacecraft carry a golden phonograph record containing pictures and sounds from Earth, with instructions on the cover as a representation of how to play the record and data containing the Earth's position. This record is a gold-plated copper disc, 30 centimeters in length, that acts as a time capsule containing an interstellar message to any culture, human or extraterrestrial, in the far future that may recover any of the robotic interstellar probes. The material of this record was chosen by a committee led by Carl Sagan, which also included another important team member, Timothy Ferris. In June 2012, Voyager 1 was identified to be almost out of the heliopause and on its way into interstellar space. A year later, in September 2013, NASA confirmed that Voyager 1 had passed the heliopause and into interstellar space on August 25, 2012, making it the first spacecraft to do so. Voyager 2 followed Voyager 1 closely and became the second spacecraft to pass into interstellar space on November 5, 2018. However, it took some time. This implies that a one-way signal transmitted to Voyager 1 will take an estimated 21.5 hours to get there. To put this in relative terms, this indicates that the signals are travelling 14 billion kilometres away from Earth. According to current statistics, Voyager 1 was travelling at a speed of 61,185 kilometres per hour and was 23.3 billion kilometres from the Sun, which is 14.6 billion miles away from Earth. The Voyager 2 probe was travelling at a speed of 55,335 kilometres per hour and was 19.4 billion kilometres from the Sun, a distance of 12.1 billion miles from Earth. Isn't that astounding? According to the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory's most recent data on the robotic interstellar probes dated August 22nd, Voyager 1 is presently travelling across space at a rate of 17,000 kilometers per second. But when both interstellar probes crossed the heliopause and entered deep space, Voyager 1 recorded some abnormalities, and lately a frightening message was conveyed to NASA scientists. The certified space Aura has been orbiting in space for the past 45 years, and as its system operations progress further into deep space, scientists noticed that the iconic spacecraft Voyager 1 has issued a couple of strange system data, with the readout coming from the spacecraft's attitude, articulation and control system. The spacecraft's motions and orientation did not appear to be in sync. This led to the notion that Voyager 1 is unsure of its location in space. This assumption was made since the spacecraft's articulation and control system, AACS, is what allows the spacecraft to communicate data about its environment to NASA. And now that it has failed to relay the correct data, this has become a major problem. A mystery like this is sort of par for the course at this stage of the Voyager mission, says Suzanne Dodd, who began working as a project manager on the Voyager 1 and 2 spacecraft at the NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California soon after graduating from college in 1984. She went on to say, "The spacecraft are both 45 years old, which is far beyond what the mission plan has prepared them for. When Voyager 1's twin, the Voyager 2 probe, was checked, tests and data returned from Voyager 2 revealed that its system functions were normal." According to the data acquired by NASA scientists, Voyager 1's attitude, articulation and control system is delivering data that is randomly generated. Nevertheless, this data does not explain the true specifics of what is happening on board the interstellar probe. Out of the 3 systems aboard Voyager 1, the computer system is the one that regulates the orientation of the spacecraft, such as maintaining the antenna pointing toward Earth to make sure NASA continues to receive data from Voyager 1, and it is also the one that controls the spacecraft's thrusters. Only the telemetry signals do not make any sense, and it's producing either all zeros or the numbers 377. But since the system issue hasn't made the old spacecraft go into safe mode, all is still well with the spacecraft, Dodd said in a statement. If the spacecraft was in bad shape, we would see a degradation in our signal from the spacecraft, which they didn't see. She went on to say that diagnosing the problem would be done in 2 steps, the first of which would be determining the root cause of the problem, because that would discern whether to reset anything on the spacecraft or to switch to some sort of backup hardware. But one thing I was certain, the Voyager 1 would continue to be operated. However, when the engineers and scientists at NASA investigated the situation and moved in to fix the problem, they discovered that the attitude, articulation and control system had been sending telemetry data through an onboard computer that had been known to have stopped functioning years ago, so the computer corrupted the information. When the team realized this was the situation at hand, they decided to try a solution that would impose a high risk. They commanded the attitude, articulation and control system to resume sending the data back to the right computer as it had always been. This procedure succeeded, since it fixed the problem and restored the interstellar probe systems to normal operation, and data was transferred to the correct computer once more. Although engineers do not yet understand why the AACS began to route telemetry data into another incorrect computer, assumptions were made that it could have been an error from a faulty command generated by another onboard computer. If that was the case, they would be certain that the issue was coming from a different location on the spacecraft. The team would not stop until the root cause of the invalid data was found, but they believe that the issue cannot be a threat to the long-term health and future of Voyager 1. "We're happy to have the telemetry back," Dodd continued in a statement. "We'll do a full memory readout of the AACS and look at everything it's been doing. That will help us try to diagnose the problem that caused the telemetry issue in the first place. So we're cautiously optimistic, but we still have more investigating to do. For the last 45 years, the iconic man-made interstellar robotic probes have been in orbit, gathering data about our unique solar system and reporting it back to scientists, engineers, and NASA. The 2 probes are currently in interstellar space, a zone beyond the heliopause that no spacecraft has ever reached. Nonetheless, Voyagers 1 and 2 continue to push the boundaries, smashing records and making history. This exploration, made possible by these two inventions, has expanded our understanding of the universe around and beyond us, and has aided scientists, engineers, researchers, and even students all around the world in their studies and research about space and all that is within. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video.